Hey everyone, Matt Turman, Susquehanna Insurance. If you own a home, there's a pretty good chance you have a homeowner's policy, whether because you want it to protect your home or because your mortgage company requires it. But is there anything that's not covered by your homeowner's policy? That's the question we're going to answer today. To answer that question, I have to start off by saying that there's really no absolutes when speaking of insurance policies and what's covered and what's not. It depends on what state you're in, what kind of insurance company you have, what kind of homeowner's policy you have, whether an HO3 or an HO5. So today for this question, we're going to talk as if we have a standard Pennsylvania homeowner's policy, an HO5, and then go from there. So the first thing that many people think is covered under their homeowner's policy, but is actually not, is flood insurance. You have no coverage on your homeowner's policy if your house was to be flooded. Also, generally speaking, you don't have coverage if water seeps in from your sump pump or through the sump-hole in your basement, or backup of drains or backup of sewers. However, both of those things can be added to your homeowner's policy. The National Flood Insurance Program, or the NFIP, is a specialty insurance policy offered through the government that is a flood insurance policy. It's generally pretty expensive. Homes that are in a floodplain need it, but other than that, it's a case-by-case basis who might need it and who might not. Backup of sewer and drain, for example, is a new endorsement you can add to a homeowner's policy that is relatively inexpensive and a great extra coverage to have. Another type of claim that is not covered by a homeowner's insurance policy is earth movement. Things like earthquakes or sinkholes, like landslides, stuff like that, generally not covered by a homeowner's insurance policy. And just like flood or backup of sewer and drain, earthquake and also sinkhole can be added to your homeowner's policy. So it's important to make sure that you check the area where your home is. Are you susceptible to sinkholes? If it is, call your insurance agent and have them add that to your policy. Are there earthquakes in your area? Maybe talk to your insurance agent about adding that to your policy if it's an option and how much it's going to cost. Another common question we get a lot from homeowners is, what about animals? So I have mice, or I have squirrels that have made a home in my attic, or I've had some other type of rodent that has damaged my home. Is that covered by homeowner's insurance? That also is actually not covered under your homeowner's insurance policy. That's generally seen in the insurance world as preventative care or maintenance, that you should be taking a stance against rodents and pests and bees and types of animals like that can damage your home, to make sure that they are taken care of, whether it's an exterminator or somebody like that can come out and protect your home from those things. So animals, damage caused by animals is not covered under a homeowner's policy, generally speaking. Some other things not covered by your homeowner's policy, we categorize as human error. The first one of these are maintenance issues. So the same way that your auto policy doesn't cover you for your brakes or your tires or anything like that, that's just general wear and tear, the same way your homeowner's policy won't take care of those claims on your home. So for example, it won't take care of rot, rust, mold, things you should be taking care of. If you have, your roof is extremely old and there's a hole in your roof and you just say, oh, I'll get to it later, and it leaks and you have water damage in your home, the insurance adjuster is going to come out and say, why did you not take care of this hole in your roof beforehand? That's a wear and tear type thing or a maintenance issue that you should have taken care of, and most times those will be declined. Another thing are defects. If you have something in your house or you put siding up and there's a defect in it, not covered under your homeowner's policy. Another one that's pretty obvious are intentional acts. So if you don't like your garage door, you can't go out and spray paint your garage door and say it was vandalized to get a new garage door. That's also called insurance fraud. But yeah, intentional acts are not covered under a homeowner's policy. Insurance companies, when they write homeowners policies, they write it to cover the common types of claims they face. Wind, hail, fire, stuff like that. There are a few things that are almost too big for an insurance company to provide coverage for, and that is war and nuclear explosions. So if something would happen, a nuclear bomb would go off, it would cause absolute devastation to a neighborhood, to a city, to a massive surrounding area, and that would be too much damage for one insurance company to handle. So war and nuclear explosions are not covered under a homeowner's policy. Hopefully we'll never have to even go there, but that's a thing that's excluded on a homeowner's policy. The last one is Ordinance and Law. So if you build a brand new basement in your home, and then 5 years later, the township or the county says you need to make sure that you have 2 means of egress outside of this basement because you have a bedroom in it, and your house burns down, and you want to build the basement back up the way it was before, they're going to come and say, hey, you need to make sure that you have 2 means of egress coming out of your basement. That's going to cost some money. That's not covered on your homeowner's policy because that's above and beyond or laws that were put into place by the government, local municipalities after you made the improvements to your home. So those are also generally not covered under a homeowner's policy. Like I said at the beginning of the video, there are really no absolutes when talking about what is covered and what's not covered under a homeowner's policy. It varies greatly based on the insurance company you have, what state you live in, what kind of policy you are written under. So it's very important that you go back and understand what you are covered for and what you're not. That's why it's super important to have a good relationship with your insurance agent. We always recommend an independent agent because that way they can go around and search for different insurance companies to put you with based on the right coverages at the best price for you versus a captive agent where you're sold just one company. So make sure you go back. If any of these things, you say, hey, I live in an area where there's sinkholes, go back and talk to your insurance agent and figure out if it makes sense to add that to your policy. Hopefully that was helpful in determining what is not covered under your homeowner's policy. If you have any more questions, check out our new website, www.susquehannains.com. Has all this information on there, plus tons of more information. We just redid it. If you have any other questions, feel free to give us a call or shoot us an email. We're here to help you answer any questions, whether you're a current customer or you live in a different state. We're here and happy to help however which way we can. At Susquehanna Insurance, we bring clarity and simplicity to your insurance needs.